And since we've got so much to talk about this week with our Super Week, that we're going to go ahead and move right into the games. Last week, my picks, I went 6-4. What I'm going to do this week, we're going to go through each game, and then at the end of each day, I'm going to give my favorite DFS plays, so it can be a little more tidy. The first game of Friday, it's Dig versus C9. C9 is minus 210 favorites. Again, if you guys aren't familiar with sports betting, that means you would have to bet $210 to win 100. So they're pretty heavy favorites. Vegas' kill number is at 23.5. This is a game I like C9 to win. I think they'll bounce back after a rough week, but I'm avoiding all these players. I'm not playing a single one of them. If you've got Dig players this week, I would drop them in your sleeper leagues. I would not put them in your DFS lineups. I just don't love them. I think both of these teams play really slow. Neither team has been great for fantasy, so I'm avoiding all of them. The second game is Evil Geniuses versus FlyQuest. Evil Geniuses is minus 200 favorites. The kill number is at 24.5. This has to be the game of the week, I think across all 3 days. Evil Geniuses has underperformed so much, and FlyQuest has overperformed. Clearly Vegas does not believe in FlyQuest, as they made Evil Geniuses pretty heavy favorites. But I do believe in FlyQuest. I'm taking FlyQuest here. I don't mind the players from either team. I think this game will be close, but I lean FlyQuest here, and so I don't mind their players. Game 3 is going to be Immortals versus CLG. Immortals is minus 159 favorites. Kill score is at 25.5. I think this game's a total toss-up. It's a coin flip. I'm going to pick CLG. I think the game could get bloody. I'm not sure, because I'm not sure about the game, I'm unsure about picking these players. But I think if you're confident that one team will win over the other, I think there's going to be a lot of kills this game, and so I think it's going to be a good pick. In fact, I could even see a situation where picking the losing team in this game isn't going to be super detrimental because of how bloody I think it'll get. Game 4 is TSM versus 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves is minus 500 favorites, huge favorites, and the kill score is at 24.5. I am all in on 100 Thieves for this one. I think it's a stomp, and I think it could be a bloody stomp. If you remember back from my first episode, if you guys have been around, the first recap episode, what we learned is that you want to target TSM. They really just allow a lot of points. It's a little bit of an outlier last week with their game against C9, just because they were so far ahead that C9 wasn't able to accumulate as many points, and TSM actually outscored C9 in most positions. I absolutely do not see that happening here. I think 100 Thieves runs away with it. I'm all in on FBI, I'm all in on Huhi, I'm all in on Closer, I'm all in on Someday. I'm going to have them as many places as I can. The last game of the day is Team Liquid versus Golden Guardians. Team Liquid is minus 400 favorites, and the kill number is at 23.5. I could see this game being interesting. I think TL wins, but I think it'll be close. I think Golden Guardians is better than most people think. Golden Guardians has been the best early game team in the league so far in terms of goal differential at 15. And I think they'll continue. I think this game will be close until we get into the mid game. And because of that, I think it will be a pretty high scoring game too. I really like TL players here. Because of that, I think that we will get more than 23.5 kills. I like the over there, and I like these players. My favorite DFS plays this week, 100 Thieves, all of them. CLG, I'm going to go with them against Immortals, even though I think that game's a toss-up. I'll probably be picking both Palafox and Luger in the mid lane and bot lane. I do like FlyQuest versus Evil Geniuses, especially Takui, Johnson, and maybe Kumo. I'll have to decide if I like him or Someday better. And I like TL too. I won't be able to combine them with 100 Thieves, even though I think that might be the highest scoring lineup. And so what I'm going to do, my two teams, I'll have one with 100 Thieves and CLG, and another with Team Liquid and FlyQuest. My MVPs will likely be Hansama or Johnson on one side and FBI on the other. For Saturday's games, first one is TL versus Team Dignitas. Liquid is minus 305 favorites. Kill score is 23.5. I think TL will win a slow game here. Again, I'm not huge on Dignitas, and I'm not huge on their matchups. And so I don't love the TL players. I think they'll be more expensive in your DFS lineups as what they're worth. The second game is TSM versus CLG. Should be the ultimate clown fiesta. The two bottom teams in the league so far. Both are 1-5. Could come in 1-6, even though I predicted CLG to win on Friday. Kill number is 25.5, so Vegas is also expecting a bloody game. The game's a total toss-up. I kind of love everybody. I think you kind of have to make your pick on who you think's going to win, and then take the players there. Since I'm going CLG, again, I'm going to end up with probably Palafox and Luger in my lineup. Not as my MVP, but I think it's another instance where the game could be bloody, and you could be okay with the losing team here. The third game is 100 Thieves versus C9. C9 is minus 120 favorites, and the kill number is 24.5. I think 100 Thieves wins this one. Vegas has it as almost a complete toss-up, even slightly C9 favored. I think 100 Thieves wins. I think they're the second best team. I think that it'll be a slow game. I think it'll be close, but I'm not sure it'll be super high scoring, just with what we've seen from C9 so far. So I'm kind of iffy on the players. I don't hate it if you pick them, but I won't be picking them. Just because I think this game is going to be too clean. I don't think players are going to be getting picked off. I think it's going to be a close, low-scoring game. I take the under on the kills, and I'm kind of iffy on these players. Fourth game is Immortals versus FlyQuest. The FlyQuest is minus 170 favorites, and the kill score is 24.5. I think this is another situation where FlyQuest wins big. I'm surprised this number's so low. Vegas just really does not like FlyQuest. But I'm targeting everyone here. Johnson will be my MVP, I'm sure. Again, Takui, Kumo, Aframu. I'm going to have them all. I think this could look a lot like their game against TSM, where Takui put up 50 and they just kind of dominated everybody. Last game is Golden Guardians versus Evil Geniuses. Evil Geniuses minus 250 favorites, and 24.5 is the kill score. I've said it a couple times. Golden Guardians is one of my favorite teams. I'm going to pick them here. Again, I think this one will be close. A lot of people believing Evil Geniuses will turn it around this week, and I'm just not sure that that's true. They've just looked bad, and so I'm going Golden Guardians. I think they'll get a big lead early, and I'm hoping they're able to close it out. They have not been the cleanest in being able to close out games, but if you believe in Golden Guardians here like I do, Pride Stalker is a great pick, Lost is a great pick. Obviously, I've said it 100 times, Pride Stalker is probably my favorite player in the league right now. And so for my picks this week, I'll have two teams, again, like I do every time. My first one, I'm going to go with FlyQuest and CLG. And my second one, I'm going to go with Golden Guardians and TSM. Shooting for the moon with this one. For Sunday's games, unfortunately, as of Wednesday night, as I'm recording this, I don't see any Vegas odds for these games. And so I'm going to be kind of working with a little bit less information than normal, which really kind of bums me out. Hopefully I'll be able to find these odds before Sunday's matchups come around, so I can make the best decisions for our DFS leagues. The first game is FlyQuest versus C9. This is a game I'm fascinated to see. I could see this game going late. I think there'll be a lot of points kind of against the norm for C9. I think maybe FlyQuest style will bleed over into C9. And so I'm picking FlyQuest here. I think they go 3-0 this week, or at least I really hope so. I think they're going to cement themselves at the top of the league with a win versus C9 and against Evil Geniuses. I think you need to pick your winner here, like I did with FlyQuest, and I think those players need to be on your lineup. The second game is Evil Geniuses versus CLG. Taking Evil Geniuses here, I think this is where they finally get their win this week on what's such a big week for them. But again, until I see it from JoJo and Impact, I'm just not picking Evil Geniuses players. I've already been burned once. I'm not going to get burned again. I've got JoJo in 2 of my fantasy leagues, my sleeper leagues. He's just been bad, so I'm avoiding this game for my DFS lineups, but I've got Evil Geniuses taking the win. The third game of the week is going to be a really fun one. It's TSM versus Team Liquid. Team Liquid's going to be huge favorites here, and I just love the Team Liquid players. Obviously, this is Bjergsen's kind of revenge game against TSM. Obviously, he spent so much time at TSM, and so I'm targeting the TL players. I kind of think they're going to rub it in. I think they're going to show TSM just what they're missing with Bjergsen. Love Bjergsen. I think you have to have him in every lineup. I just can't imagine that he doesn't go off this game. I can't imagine that Santorin's not just going to camp for him. And I don't see how this goes wrong. And so I'm going to have Bjergsen everywhere. Love the Liquid players. I think they win big. Game 4 is Immortals versus Golden Guardians. I'm sure Golden Guardians will be small favorites here. I think Golden Guardians wins. I think they win pretty easy. I think they're going to get a big early lead. And again, I hope they're able to close it out well. Hasn't been their strong suit. Obviously, I've talked about it. They played through Pride Stalker. I'm going to have him in my lineup. I'm going to have a lot of the Golden Guardians. Last game is Team Dignitas versus 100 Thieves. Once again, I've said it 3 times now, but I think Dignitas just plays too slow for teams playing against them to really have great games. So I think 100 Thieves wins pretty easy, but they're not my favorite play. I probably won't have them in my lineup despite how much I love FBI. I probably won't have them. So for my Sunday picks, for my 2 teams, I'm going to have Team Liquid and Golden Guardians on one. I'm going to have Team Liquid and FlyQuest on the other. I'm just that confident that Liquid is going to roll. I might have Bjergsen as the MVP for both games. I just don't see how that goes wrong. And so, really feeling good about this week's picks. Liquid and Golden Guardians, and Liquid and FlyQuest.